a sporty design, sporty seating position, something along those lines. That's essentially how the most popular long john cargo bikes usually look, except for the ones from Holland. They look like this, and I would even say, that's the better choice for families. Hey, I'm Tillman from the Radelbande, and in this video we're going to use the new Dolly Joy to thoroughly back up and validate this bold claim I've put forward. By the end of the video, you'll know all the pros and cons of this design approach and also of the interesting Dolly Joy, and you'll know whether this bike is truly the perfect fit for your needs. Dolly or Optima Cycles lent us this bike for this video, and they are financially supporting the production of the video. However, they didn't tell us what to say in any way. All thoughts and expressions are entirely my own, or our own, and they won't get to see the video before you have the chance to watch it yourselves. We are completely manufacturer neutral, and you can help ensure this video gets shown to as many people as possible by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to this channel for more cargo bike videos, and now let's take a look at the bike. The Dutch company Dolly has been around since 2012, and back then, their stated goal was to bring a cargo bike to the market with a particularly attractive price point, but one that still stood out with excellent features, clearly distinguishing it from other options available in this price range. And that actually worked out quite well, but they never quite managed to take the lead in that particular segment. In 2024, they then became part of the Optima Cycles family, which also features the bestseller Lovens among its lineup. And Optima Cycles took a detailed look at the entire bike, completely redesigned it, and what emerged from that process is this: the new Dolly Joy. The first feature created to bring joy is the color options. First, there's the option for metalheads, then this more muted black hazelnut that I have now, for the trendy ones among you, the black matcha version, and finally, 3 additional stylish and unique variations to pick from, where the frame also has a different color, specifically blue raspberry, pumpkin pie, and my personal favorite, very berry, which I absolutely love. And especially the last 3 mentioned are really enjoyable. And that's where we come to the point of design. Apart from the very berry color, it's not exactly a showstopper. Dolly doesn't experiment here, but instead refreshes the design of the frame and the box based on its predecessor. And if you look at it from the side, it seems like the top tube here smoothly flows into the box. And then we notice this stamped plate with the lettering clearly visible on it now. A bit of playfulness in an otherwise pretty serious product, and even constructively in one place or another, it's visible where Dolly focused on proven solutions, such as with the horizontal dropouts, the IS brake caliper mounts, or the lack of belt compatibility, which clearly stands out here. But for that, you've got a durable chain running smoothly in an almost fully enclosed case right here. This way, wear is reduced and no loose pants can get caught in the chainring. And also, loose dresses or skirts are no problem. I like enclosed chain drives. So not because I personally enjoy wearing loose dresses myself, but because it's a highly practical and budget-friendly option overall. On the other hand, these old-school solutions are then seamlessly combined with the latest Bosch Motor generation, and a modern suspension fork for improved performance and comfort. In terms of price performance, it's pretty solid. The second thing Dutch bikes simply do better is the seating position, and the Dolly Joy also boasts a classic Dutch seating position, featuring a seat tube that's strongly angled backward and a steering tube that's similarly tilted toward the rear. This ensures that shorter people can get closer to the handlebars, while taller people are positioned further away. Everyone sitting on it has an upright seating position. It's really anything but sporty, more relaxed and casual instead. But do you really want to have a sporty seating position on a bike that you use every single day to ride around the city with your children in the front? The advantages are obvious. On one hand, you simply have a much better overview because you're sitting higher up. The upper body is just more upright, giving you a lot more flexibility throughout your body. And the arms are not extended all the time. Let me show you how I sit on it myself. That's really super relaxed. Yeah, you don't get as much power on the pedal, but that's exactly why the motor is there to assist and take the load off for you completely. Overall, people ranging from about 1.60 meters to 1.95 meters sit here very, very relaxed and comfortably. Step through isn't super low, but overall it's absolutely fine and works perfectly well. But I did notice one particular detail. We'll talk about it a bit more later in the driving impression. Up here on the handlebar, we can see that the stem is also adjustable in terms of tilt, and on the other hand, the handlebar has a very comfortable bend. This once more enhances the upright sitting position. However, this entire design, including the inclined steerer tube, the curved handlebar, and the adjustable stem, provides another significant and highly advantageous benefit. I'll show you that right after the operation. The Dolly's handling is incredibly simple. On the right-hand side, we see the lever for the 5-speed hub, a bell, and over on the left, the Purion 200 display. This is fully customizable in the Flow app, allowing you to experience all the benefits and features of the smart system. The display itself shows all the essential information quite clearly, but it can also be paired with an Intuvia 100 display or even your smartphone, offering flexibility if you prefer to have a display positioned conveniently in the center. But I like to keep my view unobstructed into the box. It's a shell construction that's hollow on the inside, so it's not just hollow on the inside here, but also hollow inside here as well. This clever and efficient design combines high resistance with low weight, and it completely eliminates the need for any additional supports or reinforcements. Here you can clearly see the Dolly logo neatly embedded into the material, and it's also prominently displayed at the front as well. And down here there's an opening designed so that kids can easily climb in, and if we take a closer look at it from the side, then we see a major advantage of the Dutch design, because right here there's ample space. Even when the handlebar is fully turned, there is still space above the children's heads, and even an adult person could sit in here quite comfortably without any issues. That's only possible because the steering tube is tilted backward and the handlebar is bent rearward, so there is a lot of headroom. And the whole thing is then combined with a classic bench seat. Underneath this bench, there's also some extra capacity for small items or essentials. And there's also plenty of room in front of the kids' feet for backpacks and other essentials. That's only possible because unlike other designs, they're not sitting directly on the floor, which creates this additional storage area for their belongings. Still, it's not all upside. We'll cover that in the driving impression. The sidewall of the box was noticeably raised compared to the first model, providing kids with a higher side profile and enabling smaller children to comfortably rest their heads against it. The belts used are classic 3-point belts with a fidlock system, which also has a lock down here, so children need to have a bit of manual skill to operate it, to be able to open it themselves. What I really like about it is this harness right here. It ensures they're a bit more cushioned, making them feel more comfortable and supportive overall. On the other hand, it's also intentionally designed to be slightly firm, ensuring the straps stay securely in the correct position and don't slip off the shoulders to either the left or right side. I really like that. A lot more bikes should incorporate this feature because it's a genuinely simple, yet highly practical and effective solution. The bench itself is made of relatively hard plastic, which the kids initially complained about, but after longer rides, they didn't actually end up with any pain or discomfort, and it turned out to be quite comfortable in the long run, so it worked out well for everyone. However, Dolly provides a comprehensive accessory program that is specifically designed for this box. On one side, there's a seat cushion for this very bench, along with various additional possibilities. To bring a third child, for example, with a seat up front here or even a car seat mount, adding more flexibility and convenience. And that's the great thing about bikes from the Netherlands. Cycling is so normal there that riding with a baby is completely standard, and the bike manufacturers naturally think about practical solutions right from the very beginning of the design process to easily take the baby along. And because, while milk and honey may flow in terms of cycling in the Netherlands, sometimes rainwater does too, it comes with the canopy right away. It's a lightweight construction that offers plenty of windows and has an airy sense of space. Up here, there's a mesh included to provide a bit of sun protection, and here in the front, the design cleverly leaves ample space for a smaller child in the front seat or a baby safely secured in a car seat. The kids can climb in once these side windows here are opened, and it's already set up with quite a bit of tension in place. That's why these tabs are positioned up here to help keep the zipper or this section firmly in place when you're closing it back up again. It's still quite a bit fiddly, but the opening is then wide enough so children can easily climb in on their own without help. You can also roll up the window and secure it here at the top, letting the side windows stay open so a gentle and refreshing breeze can flow through the entire interior space, creating a comfortable and airy atmosphere. Back here, the roof is open, allowing you to easily stay connected and communicate with the kids without any hassle. The roof here extends slightly so that rain, especially when stationary, doesn't get in so easily. This rear roof section also offers a bit of extra head support for children, ensuring both comfort and added safety. So overall, it's pretty well done. It's a bit flexible but stable enough for the intended purpose. And here a pocket was sewn in where, for instance, we can always keep our lock chain, which is really convenient for quick and easy access whenever it's needed. And for everyone for whom the space in the front box isn't enough, there's also a luggage rack that gets attached directly to these mounting points here. It's rated for 25 kilograms and offers enough space for additional baskets or boxes, along with the occasional bag that can also be attached to the side. And point number 5, where Dutch cargo bikes generally just perform better. It's the kickstand. And the Dolly Joy isn't bad either. We have a kickstand here that is very easy to operate from this position, offering a really substantial lever for solid and reliable support, with which you can very easily and effortlessly lift the bike onto the kickstand, even when it's fully loaded, making it super convenient to use. And that also offers a wide, stable foundation for support. It genuinely could be as simple and hassle-free as that. But now we've seen how the dolly stands. Now let's see how it rides. So, the weirdo is on the move again, with his doll, and next to it sits a 20-kilo kettlebell, and underneath it, another 20-kilo kettlebell. Alright, so 45 kilograms of load here in the front of the box. I weigh just under 95 kilos, maybe even 98 or 100, if I'm being honest. And off we go. So first, let's check out the acceleration. That means we switch to turbo mode into the lowest gear. And let's go. And yeah, 25 kilometers per hour is reached pretty quickly. The Performance Line motor, with its 75 Newton meters of torque, already delivers a solid punch behind it, but the assistance level, sometimes it's not quite as powerful as its big brother, but what also stands out is that the Performance Line is really pleasantly quiet and smooth. And the gear changes on the Nexus 5e are seamlessly executed with a simple twist grip, without requiring you to significantly reduce the pedal power in any way. First, we're climbing the mighty Jerusalem Hill. We aim to maintain a cadence of around 80 revolutions per minute and apply roughly 200 watts of power to the pedals. We're starting at around 21 kilometers per hour. It's getting steeper now. We're already in second gear here. We need to shift down to first gear now, and it's already getting tough even on this relatively gentle slope. Now the downshift indicator is already signaling 12.3 to 12.4 kilometers per hour, and I already have to pedal pretty hard. So it's roughly around 250 to 300 watts that I have to push to make it up this section here now. And I'm in first gear. That already highlights one key aspect of the overall range, which is quite long in its configuration for slow pedaling. And when it gets steeper, this system really starts to push its limits. All right, over the edge we go right now. Yeah, no problem. The bike handles it really well. The suspension fork performs very reliably on the Dolly Joy over rougher bumps and edges. It's an absolute joy. From this angle, you can clearly see that I'm sitting in a very high and upright position here. I have a relaxed arm position. I don't need to stretch out too far, but at the same time, I maintain excellent control over the handlebars and can effortlessly lean the bike into the corner with precision, ease, confidence, and stability. What I'm noticing a bit now is that the center of gravity appears to be relatively quite high up. So the bicycle does have a noticeable tipping point. What the bike handles really well, though, is riding without using your hands at all. So one of the few long johns where I genuinely don't have any issues. Just briefly. Just holding the handlebar with 2 fingers or even completely letting go, even with a load, because it rides with an exceptionally high level of stability. I have a clear and comprehensive view of everything happening around here. I can freely turn my head and body in all directions without any restrictions. That's not necessarily so easy with sporty seating positions, and what stands out now here when standing on the bike is the point I briefly touched on earlier, which really becomes noticeable in this position. The seating position is relatively high, and the bottom bracket position is also relatively high in comparison. So if I want to stop here at the traffic light, I have to stretch my foot quite far down to keep the bike balanced and maintain overall stability. If I were to put both feet down, I'd really be standing completely on my tiptoes, barely reaching the ground. That's a bit of a downside of this design, and now let's test it out on loose ground instead. Oops, did it just slip away? Okay. Again, here. A simple handling, so the bike is surprisingly agile, has a smooth steering, and because of that, it handles tight turns really exceptionally well with ease. Just now I slipped a bit, but for regular bike rides, the Dolly is, I think, perfectly suitable without any major issues or concerns at all, really. Now let's see how it handles here at the ramp. We're in second gear, shifting into first, turbo mode, foot on the pedal, and here we go. And yeah, this is pretty intense. Let's give the hill start assist a try now. Foot on the pedal, engage the hill start assist, and here we go. Yeah. So, even short inclines should always be taken with momentum otherwise. You might end up getting stuck on such a ramp. First gear is really quite long, and that makes starting on a hill a bit of a challenge. Now, on the other hand, I'm in third gear with a cadence of about 75 revolutions per minute at 25 kilometers per hour. That also means in fourth and fifth gear, the gearing becomes much, much longer. And that's of course perfect for anyone who prefers to pedal at a more relaxed pace and relies heavily on the motor's support for assistance. All the fast pedalers, however, tend to stay in third gear or, at the very most, in fourth gear when shifting over. So you kind of fall off the bike a little because the saddle is set relatively high. Pushing works smoothly thanks to the spacious area around the bike. You also don't keep bumping into stuff all the time. Then hop on. You always kind of step onto the bike a little bit in this way. I think you got that. Now without motor assistance. Here again, the first gear is noticeably long, but the Nexus 5 E-Shift system is a highly efficient and smooth system. You can really feel it in moments like these, for example, when the motor assistance isn't there anymore. You'll definitely still make it home, even if at a slower pace. Now let's see how well this whole setup handles cobblestones. And that's something that genuinely amazed me in the first few days because this bike is surprisingly smooth and comfortable on cobblestones. And I would also say, while on the saddle. I don't feel like the bike is shaking me all over the place. Instead, I have no issues cruising over cobblestones at 25-26 kilometers per hour without discomfort. It's not uncomfortable. Let's take a look at how it brakes, though, and we brake at the second line, which is wet. But the bike isn't bothered in the slightest by it. We now needed a bit more than the total length of the bike to come to a full and complete stop. The Tektro 4-piston brakes, they truly deliver more than enough power for that. You don't need much hand strength to brake reliably, despite this relatively non-sporty seating position. You can still ride the bike in a sporty way. If you're a bit active on the saddle, it's really fun. You can get around everywhere. And what's really noticeable here now with the fake kid in the front is that it has an extremely long torso. But the handlebar hasn't even come close to hitting the helmet. Yes, that's how the Dolly Joy rides. A comfortable journey that can also be super agile and fun, especially if you've got a basic grasp of bike handling. So in any way, we'll see how we feel about it after a few weeks' time. We've traveled a total of 300 kilometers over the past few weeks as a family with the Dolly Joy. Leia rode it with the kids, I did as well, and we all had an absolutely fantastic time using it together. It was genuinely the bike we used the most over the past 4 weeks, without a doubt. Now let's dive into what we particularly enjoyed and what didn't quite meet our expectations, as well as areas where we see room for improvement. As always, you'll find a detailed evaluation using the Radelbande rating matrix through the link in the video description below. But let's start with the 3 points that could use improvement. Point number 1, the gearing configuration of the Nexus 5e is just a bit too long. I would definitely prefer a smaller first gear for smoother starts and a slightly smaller fifth gear to make it more practical for everyday riding situations. Point number 2, the space in the box is genuinely generous, but some room was still lost due to this particular construction design choice. So, for the overall length, it doesn't offer quite as much space as other bikes in this class. And point 3, some details clearly show where Dolly saved some money. Whether it's the very cheap tires, the dropouts I already mentioned, the very small base battery that only measures 400 watt-hours, or the inexpensive headlight at the front, all these aspects highlight the cost-cutting measures. But to be honest, these are all minor issues, because overall we're dealing with an incredibly exciting and impressive bike here. And here are the 3 points that impressed us the most. The first thing we really appreciate is the price, because it's finally a full-size, long John Cargo bike available for well under €5,000, and that includes a high-quality Bosch system and other premium features. That hasn't been around for a very long time. The second point is that it rides absolutely wonderfully. It's comfortable, it's agile, it rides very smoothly, and the seating position also fits perfectly with this concept and worked well for both of us, Leah and me. She's 1.62 meters, I'm 1.96 meters. It suited both of us very well and we really liked it. And the third point that we really liked is that it's a long john, where even our two kids, who are now 5 and 7 years old, didn't complain about lack of space or have to sit in a cramped way. Instead, this box is truly suitable for older and bigger kids as well, so the Dolly offers a remarkably long usability, seamlessly transitioning from baby age all the way up to older children. And that just leaves the question, who is the Dolly Joy best suited for? If you're looking for an affordable long john cargo bike, live in a relatively flat area, and want to transport up to 3 kids in your everyday life over a long period of time, then you should definitely take a close look at the Dolly Joy. We were genuinely surprised by how well, comfortably, and smoothly this bike handles in everyday life. It's really impressive. The upright sitting position is fantastic for maintaining clear visibility and awareness in everyday situations. It has a few areas here and there where you might still need to make some tweaks over time, if you're looking for better lighting or something along those lines, but with the integration of the Bosch system, that's really not a problem in any way at all. But go ahead and drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on the Dolly Joy and whether it's the bike that would match your personal preferences the best. Here you'll find the video I made a while back about the Lovens Explorer, and right here you can hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now. See you soon.